Hello everyone and welcome to today's video. Now today I'm going to be talking about the Singapore Grand Prix for Formula 1 only. Obviously F3 they are done, F2 they're going to come back at the final race of the season, which is obviously at Abu Dhabi. So we're going to have a pretty long stretch of just Formula 1 action and no F2 and F3. So before we get into that, actually let's first talk about the next week's race, which is Japan. So obviously Japan, this will be the first time we've actually been to Japan since 2019, just like most tracks like Australia, Singapore. I think there's one more track that I'm missing that I cannot remember the name of. But I mean, obviously those tracks coming to mind, obviously with Japan at Suzuka. So let's have a look at the schedule. So this is obviously talk about the track time only. So FP1 and FP2, both of them will start on October 7th. FP1 that will start at 12 o'clock to 1 o'clock. FP2 that will start at 3 o'clock to 4:30, which is weird. I don't know why it's a 30 there, but whatever. October 8th will be FP3 and qualifying. FP3 that will start at 12 o'clock to 1 o'clock. And qualifying that will start at 3 o'clock to 4 o'clock. And then finally, for the race on October 9th, that'll be at 2 o'clock over, and it will go over to 4 o'clock. So, 2-hour race, most likely. I mean, it has to be a 2-hour race, 53 laps. And it's going to be exciting to see what happens at Suzuka. Obviously, championship is actually still going on. Sorry, a bit spoilers there, but championship is still going on. But yeah, and obviously for all of your European fans who are crying about the timings, how do you think us Oceania people, mainly for Australia and New Zealand, how do you think how we feel who legit have to deal with this during the whole of a European segment, European slit? So it's not great obviously for us as well. So now let's go over to the results for the Singapore Grand Prix, and that was won by Sergio Perez. The second place got Charles Leclerc, then Carlos Sainz, Lando Norris, Daniel Ricciardo, Lance Stroll, Max Verstappen, Sebastian Vettel, Lewis Hamilton, and Pierre Gasly ran out the top 10. Then we got Valtteri Bottas, Kevin Magnussen, Mick Schumacher, George Russell. Then for all the DNFs, we have Yuki Tsunoda, Esteban Ocon, Alexander Albon, Fernando Alonso, Nicholas Latifi, and Zhou Guanyu. Oh, yeah, Guanyu Zhou, whatever. So I think Fast Lap went to George Russell, if I remember correctly. Driver of the Day went to Sergio Perez. And speaking of Perez, he was also handed a 5-second time penalty for a safety car infringement, but it didn't really matter because I think he had like 7 seconds, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, so he had 7 seconds onto the finish, so that penalty didn't really matter to him. Anyway, so for the stuff that happened, lap 7, what caused Zhou to retire? Well, actually, first of all, lap 1, Albon spun out on turn 4, I think it was, at the end of the first DRS straight, I'm pretty sure. So he spun out of there onto the escape road. Lap 7, Zhou and Latifi collided. I was actually watching this race with some of my friends, and I don't know what the hell Latifi was doing. Obviously, he did took the blame for it, which is good enough, but still, he's a bit of a dumbass, and that's why he's leaving Williams, because he cannot drive. I'm sorry, but it is kind of a true fact. He cannot drive. We'll see who actually replaces Latifi or Williams. Most likely might be Logan Sargent. Alpine, will be Pierre Gasly. That's going to be announced, maybe coming out to Japan. Nick De Vries will be taking that AlphaTauri seat. And is there one more that I'm forgetting? Oh, Haas. I think it's rumored to be either Nico Hulkenberg or Mick Schumacher. One of those two drivers will be taking that seat. Lap 21, Alonso has an engine issue. What a great way to celebrate your 350th race. Yeah, that's why it was just an engine issue. He was actually defending pretty well against Verstappen, slowing him down a lot, and then Alonso just had a massive engine issue. Lap 23, Russell was the first driver to actually put on slicks and reports no grip. I mean, obviously, the track was still a bit damp. Lap 25, Albon locks up and hits the barrier, so not a good day for Williams as he retired the car. Lap 28, also not a good day for Alpine as Ocon has another engine issue. So Alpine, you boys need to, you boys need to have a look at the durability of that engine, because it's not looking too good. Lap 33, Lewis Hamilton locks up and hits the wall. I think that's also where Albon locked up and spun off on lap 1. Lap 36, Yuki Tsunoda locks up and into the the Tech Pro barrier. I can't remember where the corner was. I think it was before the Anderson Bridge, before the chicane. So it was like on the straight, you take a left, and that's where he ended up at. Onto the wall after locking up. He was also lit on dry, so it kind of makes sense. But locked up there and actually caused a safety car, a pretty lengthy safety car, which also caused the race has to be timed now because there was a delay at the very start. I think it was like a 1 hour delay, I'm pretty sure, to the start of the race. So obviously everyone had to stay, especially us in the Oceania region. I guess also from the Americas region as well, from North America and South America. It was a very long day. I was very tired, and I was just really tired after the race, including my friends. My friends, like we were all tired after the race. We were so happy when it was over. We just wanted to go to sleep. But yes, so that caused a time race. I think it was. I think we finished on lap 59 if I remember correctly. So we didn't complete the full race lanes, because I think it was 61 laps. I think it was 61, 67 laps. I can't remember, but yeah. And then lap 39 on the restart, safety car restart, Verstappen locks up and almost hit Norris, where Hamilton and Albon also had issues with. So yeah, it was a pretty big lockup, massive. I was like, he had to pit for softs. Lap 40, George Russell, Mick Schumacher, both of them had punctures after colliding on the front stretch. That basically ruined both their days, and Russell got off the fastest lap, so that's a point off. I think previously, it was Leclerc, I'm pretty sure, actually got, no, I think Perez had the fast lap before Russell took it, so yeah, there's that. Lap 57, Hamilton locks up after trying to pass Vettel, and Verstappen was right behind that. Verstappen got a free position. He also picked up Vettel as well, I think, on the final lap, I'm pretty sure, the final second lap, or the penultimate lap, one of those ones. And lap 59, Perez wins. So I think that's his third, I'm pretty sure, yeah, his third straight course win of his career. Obviously, he won at Baku, won at Monaco this year, and now Singapore. So he's a bit of a street circuit king, we'll say, for Sergio Perez. And just like I said, driver of the day goes to Sergio Perez. I really thought driver of the day would go to Daniel Ricciardo. He moved up the most spaces. Well, places, I should say. I think it was 11, I'm pretty sure. 11 or 12 places he moved up, which is really, really good, especially of how shitty his season is going. I think you can probably also say Stroll, maybe even say Verstappen for coming back and having a very eventful day he had. Hamilton also had a very eventful day. Both Mercedes had a very eventful day, we'll say. So yeah, if you were a Mercedes fan and you're watching that race, you kind of had to look away because it was something. There was a lot of choking going on and just a bunch of other stuff going on in that Mercedes camp. Let's have a look at how the standings looks like now. The championship will continue to go over to Japan, which I already talked about. So Verstappen's chances of winning the championship is still a bit slim, unless I think if he wins. So basically, if he wins the race, he'll become the champion. I think that's what his goal was, just to win the race at Japan. Obviously, it is, I guess it's also Red Bull's home race, quote unquote, because their engine supply is still basically Honda. So, yeah, that's a little thing for you. But Max Verstappen still has a pretty good lead over Leclerc. The battle for second is also getting very tight. 2 points separating Leclerc and Perez. And then we got George Russell. 1 point actually separating Russell and Sainz for fourth place. Then we got Lewis Hamilton, Lando Norris, Esteban Ocon, Fernando Alonso, and Valtteri Bottas right now top 10. Then we got Daniel Ricciardo, Sebastian Vettel, Pierre Gasly, Kevin Magnussen, Lance Stroll, Mick Schumacher, Yuki Tsunoda, Zhou Guanyu, Anton Albon, Nick De Vries, Nicholas Latifi, and Nico Hulkenberg ran out all of the 2022 drivers. So that's really about it for Singapore. Not really stuff. Actually, quite a few stuff obviously happened. It was a bit of a snooze fest after Zhou Latifi collided, but there was some good battles. Verstappen was making up quite a few positions. But other than that, it was a bit of a snooze after that. But then Alonso had an engine issue. Albon locked up. All these other stuff just coming into effect. The weather was also still being really, really weird. Obviously, it wasn't enough to get on the dry ice at the very end, which was a good sign. But that's all behind us now. Singapore Grand Prix is now done and dusted. And just a reminder that the next race is the Japanese Grand Prix at Suzuka for the first time since 2019. So I'm very excited about that. And also, October 9th will be a very eventful day for me because I need to obviously watch this and also watch Bathurst because obviously I'm Australian. I need to obviously watch the Bathurst 1000. I will be obviously making a video on the Bathurst 1000 entry list and also the results as well for that race. So look forward for that if you are a Supercars fan. So that's really about it for me. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Catch you guys next time in the next one. Goodbye.